So this is about MPs claiming expenses and MPs' husbands claiming expenses as well, as in Jackie Smith's husband got caught out looking at a couple of X-rated films, I believe they're called, aren't they, these days?
Naughty ones, yes.
Naughty ones.
Home Office research. Because the Home Office is in charge of pornography, so I'm sure it was for a parliamentary purpose.
The Home Office is in charge of pornography?
Well, not...
no, to be fair, they make the best films.
Oh, OK.
He's paid by her.
He just happens to be her assistant, parliamentary advisor officially.
Right, he hasn't really earned his money, though, has he?
He can buy his own porn on 40 grand a year, surely.
Make his own.
Yeah.
40 grand, do we need as a camera?
Well, that's not all you need.
It's a star. If you haven't got that, you haven't got it.
I'm happy to use a sketch pad. Yeah. If it comes to it.
It's a sketch.
Keep doing it, keep moving.
I want to be Home Secretary, anyway.
Well, then you shall be. Is that how this works now?
I've got buxom big boys and buxom babes.
Uh-huh.
And I've got the plan. I am supremely qualified. I'm the man to be Home Secretary.
It's panto, isn't it?
I was thinking more of Britain's Got Talent.
You see, everyone had written Alan off, but the moment he brought out his props, they thought, why have I been sneering at a Tory?
You can make a future out of a gold-plated plug, I tell you.
You can see how classy, you know, and how into interior design you are, because that was just like a crap stainless steel one. But then you've got a gold chain and a piece of, you know, high-quality black rubber.
We Tories have got class, you know.
What's going on?
Are you a member of the Tory party, Nick? I thought you'd won a competition to be on the show.
Are you a big
ones do you
homeowner?
claim for?
Pardon?
Are you a big homeowner?
You've got to say that again.
Okay, sorry.
So, do you claim for a second home, Alan?
Indeed I do.
Really?
Yeah.
And how many homes have you got?
Well, you've been doing your homework, haven't you?
Well, I've been doing your second homework.
I claim for the second one, but not the third one.
The third one you rent out, is that right?
Yes.
Right, so you're claiming expenses on a second home when you have three and you've got an income coming in from it.
Fabulous system, isn't it?
Yeah. You don't feel that's a bit dodgy?
No.
Touch dishonest?
Oh, certainly not that. Are you having fun?
No, I'm just interested. I see my job
like
to
a date,
elicit information.
Like a date?
Yeah, you know, just getting to know each other, having a lovely chat.
I know I've got a reputation, but there are limits.
Well, let's just test and see what those limits are, shall we? Not really one. Alphabetical order.
What system would you have?
Oh, stick a couple of extra noughts on the salary or something. Well, there's going to be inflation, isn't there? There's going to be inflation. Everything will have 10 noughts on by the time we're like Zimbabwe.
I just want to know that you're going to be less corrupt than the present lot.
Okay. We hope so. We will. We will.
I like Tory MP says it's going to be like Zimbabwe. When we get in. Oh, great.
So, long hot summers. Do you sometimes miss Tony Blair when you look at Gordon Brown?
You know, I just got out in the nick of time, you know.
Hold on, Alan has just lost me 200 quid. The producer said to me, I bet you 200 quid Alan Duncan does a Tony Blair impression. I said he wouldn't do that. Tony Blair, surely he's far too passé now.
Yeah, but I'll recompense you out of my expenses. It's all
OK.
Right.
Here we are, look. Just happened to have that with you. Look, this is your last 3 appearances on the show, Alan.
I'm just going to be a Tory, you know. Straight back.
Can you do Tony Blair?
No, then he said, I'm the most marvellous Prime Minister. It's all OK, you know.
Alan, any views on that?
Well, you know, I was the marvellous Prime Minister. You know.
Who's that?
I'm glad you've bought yourself a new tie.
I'm now I want my 300 quid for doing it. That's the deal.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
That's what I say. Well, we have got Gordon apologising. Before I show this, it's a very good example of, you know, sometimes in life you find yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time. Just watch out for that as well. Here's Gordon.
Well, I'm sorry about what happened. I've said all along that when I saw this first, I was horrified, I was shocked, and I was very angry indeed. I think the most important thing...
Yeah, don't get me involved in this. Gordon went on to say what is possibly my favourite Gordon Brown quote ever. Listen to this.
I take full responsibility for what happens. That's why the person who was responsible went immediately.
Oh, dear.
That is pure Stalin. Fantastic. Oh, right, this is the comedy question. The police beating people up.
Well, it's probably to do with the police and their kettling.
It is, yes. It's the metaphor they use for getting people in a very tight space. Being the police, they haven't thought through the metaphor that when you boil a kettle, it gets very hot.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. People boiled over. But again, the police are, I mean, they are extraordinary. It was the G20 demonstration, and they managed to find the one person who wasn't involved with the demonstration and killed him. The demonstration was hugely hyped. They said there are going to be millions of anarchists flooding London, and there's going to be a dirty bomb. It's going to be terrible. So everyone's up for it, and then 6,000 hippies turn up, and a few people in a climate camp, and some agreeable people saying, well, I don't know, it'd be nice if capitalism wasn't quite so useless. And the police go, blimey, anarchists! Interestingly, the only people who didn't get stopped were the 4 people who were smashing in the windows of the Royal Bank of Scotland. There was a wonderful picture. 4 people with the windows, 300 press photographers, and a whole load of policemen going, yeah, look at them mannequins.
So here's a clip showing the subtle difference between Gordon Brown and Barack Obama. Here they are arriving at number 10, and look at this lucky policeman gets to shake hands with the President of the United States. Oh, and here comes the Prime Minister of it. No. At least he resisted doing that, to be fair.
I bet he's one of those people that goes in to kiss you on the cheek and ends up weirdly kissing you on the lips. But,
No, all it is that Barack Obama doesn't know how English police behave. Gordon went a bit near him, thought, oh, I'm not getting it. Supposedly, you're not allowed to touch the Queen, and supposedly you have to wear long sleeves. But, you know, if the Obamas do it, it's fine.
Why would you touch the Queen?
I've nicked the back of her head when I put a stamp on an envelope. Does that count? Does that count? Sometimes I do the front bit as well when no one's looking. I walk around with an impression of her on my tongue all day. With nightments in the corner. Nightments.
Fingers on buzzers?
I buzzed.
It buzzed.
I did it.
Yes, there's a light on.
Yeah.
We can put the sound in after.
Oh, OK.
When will they dub the jokes on? Will that be later? Will that be later?
So who was that?
It's unlikely singing sensation Susan Boyle, and they all laughed at her.
You all laughed at her because they thought she was dumpy.
Because
and
of the
then
way
opened
she
her mouth.
looked, and she wasn't very glamorous, and then she started singing, and they all kind of did that sort of prime-time jaw-dropping thing that they like to do.
It is show business. It's a show business, and, you know, we make the reaction very big. Oh, she can sing, you know, and so it's to tells more the story, sells the programme. That's all it is.
Can I say I did cry when I saw Susan Boyle on Britain's Got
Why,
Talent?
did you just go out with her?
Maybe. OK, next. And I don't like the OK, it sounded too...
Yeah.
Too flamboyant.
Yeah. You want to try again?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Next, what? Don't make this job impossible for me. I like that better. I thought it was very... Yeah, but I'll do it again now. You've spoilt it.
OK.
Next, I think what says Miss California.
She has a problem with gay marriage, doesn't she, Miss California?
She does, so what do you think she said?
I think gay men will burn in hell, says Miss California. But save the dolphins!
Well, I don't agree with her. Silly bitch. I mean, I don't agree with her at all.
You've got a bit working class, haven't you? Stupid bitch, she's looking for a slap in the middle. I'm Tory home secretary, you know what I mean?
Can I point out that I don't agree with it either? These are headlines, not maxims for life. I don't agree that all you need is a nice cheese tray either.
If you read that Miss California's been murdered, you'll know it was me, won't you?
That is a hell of a statement to make on camera there.
Yeah.
Because...
For somebody who's planning to be Home Secretary, so she dies tomorrow.
Yeah, what the hell are you going to do?
Nothing like freedom of speech from a Tory, eh? She disapproves of same-sex marriages, so she deserves to die. By your hand.
We will not put up with this intolerance.
Next, Nazi cattle what?
They've invaded Britain.
They came on little boats from Dunkirk.
I think they just got to Jersey. That was a very... It was a cow joke, and the Nazis did get to... Yeah. You know, I mean, it's all right you people sitting there, you haven't paid. People at home have paid, obviously, licence paid. I was suggesting for a second.
It's a breed that the Nazis tried to reintroduce, but now they're back in Britain.
You're absolutely correct.
Oh, good.
Brought to Britain is what the thing says.
What makes them Nazis, then?
They wear uniforms.
What makes anyone...
I mean, I'm presuming there's more to this than just that they're from Germany.
It's the brown shirts.
Oh, OK. And the chronic anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Is that what makes them Nazis?
That is, they refuse to be salt beef.
I'm trying to think of some pun, but all I can come up with is the cow starpo, which isn't very good. That's one better than that.
Yeah. A farm in the west of England has introduced...
Watch out for the bull, he's goring. There we are. I knew there was one.
Well,
How now, brown shirt?
Actually, we've opened up a whole new area of comedy, Nazi cows.
Yeah, exactly.
For you, the milking is over.
And in his latest YouTube broadcast, Gordon Brown uses subtitles to summarise the budget.
And it's the pandemic of panic that is spreading around the world about pig flu, which is almost as bad as man flu, apparently. But not too bad if you've got the right ointment.
Just get them out
Right.
of the way now.
I like your approach. Stare at them as if they're wrong.
Yeah. Right. Now I know how to pitch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like that.
I couldn't work out whether it's selfless to wear a face mask because you're stopping your infection going to other people, or it's selfish because you're saying, "Oh, get away from me." Does anyone know?
It depends whether you've got it or not.
Sometimes I have no idea why you're not in charge of health.
In many ways, I am.
They said it could kill 750,000 people in Britain and lead to mass graves, inflatable mortuaries and 24-hour cremations.
Inflatable mortuaries?
Don't die.
Well, hang on there. We're not ready. Bouncy mortuaries. Make that funeral go with a swing.
Put the fun into funerals. Maybe you could have a sort of like the conveyor belt could go backwards and forwards, so as they sort of, you think they've seen the last of them, and they come back, ta-da! Here it goes again.
The whole of humanity is under threat. Now, where exactly is this outbreak thought to have started?
Britain's Got Talent.
Oh, yeah, this is the pig that's not been crossed with a sheep. It's an Austrian pig.
Oh, my, Australian.
Austrian? It's Austrian.
OK.
I know. Damien!
Don't do that. Don't just roll over. Stand your ground now. Come on.
This is an Australian...
If only this had happened in the Second World War. Hitler were invading Austria, no Australia. I think we should stop everything and see if anyone's got an iPhone.
What, you want to phone this pig up and ask him if he's Austrian or Australian? Yeah, but on the auto cue it says Austrian is right.
Now I am leaving. Which other politician made the news this week? It might help if I say beauty queen.
Alan Duncan, last week. He threatened to have the beauty queen and Miss California killed.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
No, he did.
And then 3 days later, she was found lying face down in a rather unfortunate circumstances, and he's now been arrested and charged with her murder.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. It was Tory MP Alan Duncan, that's right, who may be investigated by the police after his appearance here last week, allegedly threatening to murder Miss California.
He's not going to be investigated by the police.
Well, defending Mr Duncan's comments, BBC have taken it very seriously. A spokesman has said Alan Duncan was not meant to be taken seriously.
Does he know that?
Do you think the Labour Party could try that? Mr Gordon Brown is not meant to be taken.
Finally,
your voices, you do all so different voices, don't you? Because I've noticed that when you were doing a bit of authority, it's like
sorry,
that.
It's embarrassing. My balls are dropping.
Biscuits.
It's biscuits.
Biscuits.
They're not eating biscuits.
They're stealing the biscuits. They were going along to this cinema in Leicester Square and they've been banned because they were allowed a biscuit.
Yeah, at least one biscuit per person. Quite
and they
clearly
got
stated when they go
above
in.
their station
Yeah.
and they stole all the biscuits.
Yeah. That is right. It's the news that a cinema in, I believe, in Leicester, not Leicester Square, and I'm going to have to disagree with Janet again, and I'm going to get it wrong. And it actually will be Leicester Square after all, and it'll be another embarrassing climb down.
By the way, there's a message for you on autocue.
Can you... I'm not there yet. Janet is wrong, I am there. I'm focused. Leicester is right.
Sorry.
Get in.
So we have to have him lying down? I mean, technically, he's taller, isn't he?
He is.
In that picture, rather than longer.
Being a bit nitpicking there, Paul.
There's a bit more of him.
I'm Ian. I don't want to be nitpicking, Janet.
Ian. That's worth writing down. Ian.
Yeah.
I've always wondered who it was, but I never liked to ask. Well, he's here every week. I presume he locks up at night. I don't know who he is. Ian.
Boris cannot understand what?
Why he's not Prime Minister.
He cannot understand how Cameron became Tory leader. This is according to an unauthorised...
This is Boris Johnson, Mayor of London. I don't understand how David Cameron became Tory leader. He takes his own promotion in a stride while the rest of us are completely boggled by it. How did that man get that job? How did he get that job?
He has just got the most unnatural smile. I mean, I know Prescott made a stab at it, but he's obviously been told, you know, you'll win people over by smiling, Gordon, and he tried, you know that. You just kind of think, he's touching himself. You know?
He's a great character, Berlusconi. Somebody told me the other day that during the last time he was up for an election, he said on Italian television, anyone who doesn't vote for me is a dickhead.
She's called this shamelessly trashy. But why is that ironic?
When she first met him, she was working as a topless model?
Nearly, yeah. She was
nearly? Bottomless model?
Yeah.
The odd bra strap glimpsed?
Yeah, she was actually in a topless in a play.
Oh, topless in a play?
Yeah, she was.
Well, that's all right.
He was waiting for Godot.
Finally, on the subject of causing offence, what was the winner of the Grand National asked to do by a well-known BBC presenter?
This was the teeth.
Should we have a quick look at it before you defend
God,
yourself?
I haven't watched it back.
No. OK, let's not. OK, no, let's not. Let's not. OK, let's.
Ian, just give us a big grin to the camera. No, let's see your teeth. He hasn't got the best teeth in the world, but you can afford to go and get them done now, if you like. I will just say at this point, as he was talking, I thought he's had his teeth kicked out, because lots of jockeys have, and I thought, I'll get him to grin to the camera, do this thing about heroic jockeys and lack of vanity, And then when he smiled at the camera, I realised he hadn't had his teeth kicked out. To be fair to Liam, he now has free dental treatment. He's going to get his teeth fixed. Apparently there's a sponsorship deal in the offing as well, so if anyone else would like me to offend them live on television, I will do so freely. This is the Van Gogh chopping off ear story, and the research that's come out that says that Van Gogh didn't do it to himself, that in fact Gauguin did it to him.
Expert swordsman, apparently,
yes.
Gauguin.
That's what they say.
Weren't they arguing about a lover? A prostitute.
Yes.
So Van Gogh says to Gauguin, why'd you do that? And Gauguin says, I hate you, and Van Gogh says, what?
And then someone said, go on, show us your ear.
This camera over here. Let's have a look. You can get that fixed now. You've sold a few paintings.
What do you reckon Van Gogh... Is it Gogh? It's meant to be pronounced the same as Loch, the Scottish Loch. How would you say Loch, Fred?
Oh, you pronounce Loch.
Loch. So it's Van Gogh.
No, I think it's Van Gogh.
In America, they call him Van Gogh, but it sounds like a removal company, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh. Yeah, what Van Gogh and Gauguin actually arguing about, do you reckon? What do they might have been arguing about?
Van Gogh.
I knew how to pronounce his name.
Yeah.
I've told you 100 times.
I don't call you Gojin. What do you think of that? 2:30.
How did they manage to find this out?
Letters from Vincent to his brother Theo.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, there was...
That bastard Gauguin cut my ear off. How did he do that? 2:30. I'm determined to make that gag work.
Yeah.
The story goes that they were going to a brothel and Gauguin was a keen fencer.
Shouldn't there have been an Irishman involved in this somewhere?
Probably.
An Irishman, Gauguin, and Van Gogh go to a
Frenchman,
brothel.
Dutchman and Irishman.
Yeah, the Irishman goes in first.
Dutchman cuts his ear off.
Yeah, and Gauguin says it's 2:30.
Gauguin was a keen fencer.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
He liked a bit of
He's
fencing.
quite good at the creosote and sheds as well.
What did Van Gogh do with his severed ear, though?
Wrapped it up in a handkerchief and dropped it off at the local brothel.
He did, and
Yeah.
gave it to a prostitute named Rachel.
Was it the one they were arguing about?
I don't know.
What nationality was she?
If it wasn't, she'd be a bit surprised, wouldn't she? Got a present for you, thanks very much. What's this? 2:30.
Now it's the ear talking.
Yeah, he is doing the talking.
He was going to take it to the library, but they're not allowed talking here.
No.
Would anyone like to see a show-jumping rabbit?
No, actually, on this occasion, no.
No.
Let's see it.
Fantastic. How many strides between these next two? 1, 2, 3. Oh, he
Oh,
stopped.
what a refusal.
That's 3 faults.
Is it?
Oh, you're funny.
That was my favourite moment. Which means at the end of this round, it's Ian and Fred with 2, and Paul and Claire with 7 points. Now,
7-2. This is humiliating.
it is.
I don't feel humiliated.
No? You could ring Arsene Wenger and commiserate. You
Don't start confusing him with people he's never heard of. I don't like that.
I was thinking, was he a friend of Gauguin's?
2:30.
You really look quite grumpy there, Ian.
Well, it's true, I was worried about standards very, very early. Soldier comforts horse. Don't worry, I like your teeth.
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Fred Macaulay, Paul Merton and Claire Balding. And I leave you with news.
That was in recognition.
I mean, that was the worst round of applause. You didn't even sound like you wanted to do it. The few that started went, oh, what's the point?
No, it's like in
The longer we clap, the longer we're sitting here. Yeah, come on, let's go. Yeah, great. You've got the cat. These aren't my socks. What's going on here? 2:30.
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Fred Macaulay, Paul Merton and Claire Balding.
I've been in this business 21 years. I know when the audience is taking the piss.
At Windsor Castle, during a royal banquet, the Queen begins to wonder what ménage à trois means.
Ah, the House of Frauds.
Den of iniquity.
No, House of Common Criminals.
Supermarket sweep, Westminster version.
A trouser press.
That's a complete pile of... Oh, yeah, midnight.
It's a lot of excuses. It's a fantastic story, but it's all stories come at once. It's like Christmas. Any normal week, any one of those stories would have run all week. Now we get 35. I feel punch drunk. Everything you've always thought, you think, oh, they haven't claimed. They have claimed for that! They've claimed for everything, haven't they?
Yeah.
We should highlight the people who weren't fiddling.
Norman Baker, Lib Dem MP. He crusaded all the way through, and then the Speaker was rude to him and said, oh, we know your type. You tell the press what they want to hear.
As the Speaker turned into Alan Bennett.
Yeah.
When did that happen? I've got to start watching the news, you know. It's crucial for this show.
I was on Question Time with her once, and she told me afterwards that I was shallow. Well, most other people in the country pay for their own food.
And you don't have to eat twice as much food because you live in 2 different houses.
Unless you're John Prescott.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point.
Then you have to get rid of it again.
I think one MP... He couldn't even do that right. That's how rubbish John Prescott is. He can't even be a successful bulimic. He remembers to eat it and completely forgets to throw it up.
He didn't mean that.
I know.
And so to round 2, which is called... Can you tell what it is yet? I'm going to draw each of you a picture. Do you like your likeness there? You're not sure?
Is that me?
That's you. This could be I'm going to draw each of you a picture, and you've got to tell me what the news story is attached to this picture.
OK. Isn't there some light music to play as you do it?
No, I create that.
Are you still chairman of the Asthmatics, Rolf?
Yes. It's an eye. And there's another one coming in shortly over here.
Oh.
If it's Jordan, we should get a clue in a minute.
You're not Banksy, are you?
Is it Jordan? It bloody is, yes. Oh, my God! That's very...
And you recognised her from her face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which must be a first in her career.
Yeah. Some men are a bit more romantic than others, Ian. OK, and there's a little bit of a rip happening here in the side of the paper.
So have you got permission to deface our property?
Peter called time on the relationship after the Sun printed this picture of a drunken Katie flirting with a mystery man. Oh, sorry, Ian. Sorry. I don't know how that got in there, Ian. Sorry.
Doing so well.
This was the
I didn't
actual
know her.
picture that upset Pete. This is the one.
We can't quite see who that gentleman is behind the glass. Can we, Ian?
Are you still tuning out?
Anyway. That's enough of that one. OK, the next one. My true love was true.
It sounds like R2-D2 sing Sinatra. Excellent, excellent. Well done.
Here we go.
Isn't that a Cumberland sausage?
No, no.
My God, the man can play anything. Anyone got a bowl of lentils, anything.
If you're uncomfortable with that shape, perhaps I can get the more recognised traditional didgeridoo for you. Could I have my straight didge, please? Thank you, thank you. Here is your musical clue. What story does this refer to?
So I just had a real grasp of exactly what we're doing here. Okay. Topical news quiz. Guess the story from the didgeridoo. Is it crossing Dover in a fog?
I've got to tell you, I am amazed and astounded that you didn't get that one.
No.
It's
So
the Pope's controversial visit to Israel.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it seemed perfectly obvious to me.
Are we buzzing?
Ian's buzzer's not working. That's amazing. He buzzed and it lit up over there. I suspect foul play, Ian.
I wired up the buzzers about 20 years ago. Every time you press yours, mine lights up. You've only just figured it out. I sit here, I know nothing. I win every week.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah.
Toes.
So he's got this girl by the leg. No, what was I talking about?
Oh, no, but whatever it was, we want to hear this bit.
But these kids in this pool,
yes, yeah.
They were all over me, jumping on me and holding me under, and I was very good. I could hold my breath for what seemed like hours, and all of a sudden I realised I'm drowning. And I cannot get up to the surface. And the kids are holding me under and standing on me. And
Did all your previous paintings flash in front of your eyes?
Did. And I thought, you know, with the charming sort of persona that I had, I'm going to have to thump one of these kids in a minute to get up to the surface to get some air. But luckily, I managed to get through, and I went and grabbed
And
some
it was
air.
a song.
If you're wondering what an average Boy Scout looks like,
What you don't know is that Jordan's on the bottom of that one.
No wonder his hat's got a point in it.
God, what's this? Sam is dat footage of him. Is he really on YouTube?
Yeah? What's that?
I gave us a clue. It says Sky News in the corner.
Ah, yes, sir, yeah, of course.
See, one of the things you pick up when you've done the show for a few years is...
Anyway, he's gone.
Yes, he has. He's gone. He's history.
And this morning, we had... we've already had this. At the Labour Party, they have sort of houses which they put themselves in, and the Lib Dems have houses which they put their children in, and the Tories have houses which they put their ducks in. He's claiming for a second home for some ducks.
We'd like to see his resignation
Yes, please.
speech. Sadly, we are expressly forbidden from showing any sort of parliamentary footage in this programme for fear we might bring Parliament's reputation into disrepute. So we've commissioned a professional artist to do a drawing. So there it is. There we go.
This professional artist, how old was he?
I'm sorry, but, like, what you get when you become a member of House of Lords? Like, you get, like, a discount on food and restaurants or something like that?
You get 10% off sports equipment.
Now, can you impress women with it in a bar?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's cool to be in the House of Lords, man. You in a big old house with other men, y'all wearing bathrobes and no clothes on. You just...
I think you've got some of the details slightly confused.
You walk around the pool table and you're, what's up, Lord? Hey, it's you, Lord.
Did you say pool table?
Yeah. You can't have no house with men in it without no pool table.
I think it's called snooker over here.
Okay, well, have your little English game. But anyway, there'll be a table with some balls on it.
Fantastic.
So what's the female version of the House of Lords?
The House of Lords.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's women in the House of Lords?
Yeah, it's unisex.
Yes, yeah.
Ooh, we gotta put on pants now. Ooh, I didn't know that. Okay, all right.
It's getting better and better, isn't it?
Yeah. We may not even need the pool table now, man. Has a black man from America ever gotten into the House of Lords?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't know.
Hey, boy. I have a dream, too.
You're on the way. It should be quite easy. We had a bloke who used to come on this show quite a lot. He became Mayor of London, so I don't see any reason why you shouldn't become a member of the House of Lords.
Mind you, they won't be able to claim for the future redecoration of a house they're moving out of in order to spend more time with the mistress they carried on with while their wife had treatment for cancer. So that's bad news for Tory MP James Gray.
I should imagine he's just spilt his whiskey watching the TV.
Jordan.
Your obsessions are becoming manifest, sir.
I can think of nothing else this week.
Well, what about her and Peter Andre? What do you think's going to happen? Never mind all this stuff.
I think they'll come back together again, Paul.
Do you?
Honestly, I do.
Do you?
I mean, Peter Andre I was reading in the paper, he just been crying and walking around talking about his kids, and he crying and he been devastated. He ain't gonna stop crying, man. Get your manhood back, man. Do something, man. Just, stop crying to people. Go climb a mountain. Go bungee jumping. Try to have sex with Mike Tyson. Anything, man. Just stop crying all the time, man.
How would you advise having sex with Mike Tyson?
Well, you go up to him.
You've thought about it. You've thought about it.
You go up to him,
yeah,
and you go in understanding full well it may not go the way you planned.
Yeah.
What has Anne Widdecombe...
She had sex with Mike Tyson. Oh, Anne, come on out. Is she our mystery guest?
Paul and Reg, there's a sound clue for you, so listen carefully and see if you can
clues.
tell me what it is. OK, here it is.
Is that it?
That's it.
Wow, it could be a lot of things.
Yes. It could be a Trappist monk catching his finger in the door.
It could be Victoria Beckham listing her great character traits.
What? You played just nothing. What the
This
hell
is the hum, isn't it?
The hum?
Can you hear the hum?
No.
There.
Some people can't hear it, but there's
A lot of
hum.
people have now said that all the time in their lives there's this underlying drone going on in the background, which I assumed was Neil Kinnock.
Gooley says hum sufferers are switched on all the time. However, he also says it may be a fridge. What can you do to stop the hum?
Unplug the fridge.
I think no one can stop the hum. That's the...
No one can stop the hum.
Stop the hum. The hum's been around for years.
He sounds like a really bad action hero.
Yeah.
It's the hum. Turns up and hums you to death.
Yeah. The incredible hum. Yeah. You wouldn't like him when he's bored.
In the 70s, it was known as... Does anyone know? It was the Bristol hum.
Roger Whittaker.
The Bristol hum?
Everybody do the Bristol hum. That was...
it was a dance, wasn't it?
It was a dance, yeah. I'm sure it was, yeah. It was the Bee Gees.
This is the most ludicrous, thinnest story we've ever been asked to contemplate. Have you just made this up?
No.
No evidence at all of anything. No pictures of people, no anything. Just, the hum. What was it known in the 70s? The Bristol hum. What was it known in 1643? Yee hum. What a load of nonsense.
It's like a low-budget 1950s horror movie. The
Exactly.
hum.
The set's low budget enough. The question shouldn't be low budget as well. To be fair, he's the one throwing them up there.
How you get him to do that? How you get him to jump one at a time? Everybody queue up.
The Chinese restaurant is this way.
Raymond, I told you about that cutting and pushing. Stand back.
What else are the BNP doing to lure in even younger children?
Oh, cartoon strips?
Yes.
No.
They produced...
Really?
They have produced a comic called The Comet, which, according to The Sun, features a venom-spouting racist puppet called Billy Britt. And we have a clip of Billy Britt.
In AD 20 was born a queen. Boadicea was her name. But then one day from across the sea, some mean old Romans came. They took her land and beat her kids, and that just was not right. So she fought and died for freedom, and Boadicea was white.
Pixar have gone really downhill, haven't they?
On Ian's team tonight, a man who is now a Church of England vicar, but who enjoyed a string of hits in the 80s with the Communards. Good to see him together with Ian again after so long. Let's see them in their heyday. Please welcome the Reverend Richard Coles. Sounds so enthusiastic, doesn't it? Goes really go.
Goes really go.
Yeah. Early Communards hit.
Well, I was going to say cover. That might be a good idea. What's your tax position, by the way?
What, if we reform?
Yeah.
Well, I'm all for it. If Kajagoogoo can do it, I think we should.
Excellent. Yes.
How many of your hits can you name?
Don't Leave Me This Way.
Yeah, that's one.
They would be never...
No cheating, Vicar.
They say if you remember being in the Communards, you weren't really there. So.
Well, that's actually true.
What do you do when you're an ex-MP? Like, what happens? What happens to her? I mean, we're mocking her, but what happens to this lovely thing now?
You've made everyone feel really guilty now.
Robert Kilroy Silk springs to mind.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And end up on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Yeah. They could have a special political one, because there's going to be about 300 of them looking for something to do.
How about Cash in the Attic? Something like that.
Cash in 2 attics.
So, Sue, because you'll be watching this, Sue, I've had enough. Honestly, I can't do this anymore. And I mean this sincerely. That I love you, but I'm not prepared to put up with this anymore. And so would I dump you now? Yes, I would. You've been dumped.
David.
Live on air, on TV. Celebrity dumping.
What? Because you're dumped.
Nice to see chivalry is not dead.
Dead, yeah.
I'm willing to bet that she doesn't exist. I think it's publicity on his part.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was planned because he was actually looking down at his notes.
Yeah. He looks like Sir Alan Sugar.
Yeah.
You're dumped. How unpleasant. I just don't like the idea of television producers out there hearing the word celebrity dumping. I think it's going to be on Channel 4.
We're going to have other countries come in and build our country's MPs Duck Island. How humiliating.
If I can't see my MPs living in a lap of unearned luxury, then I won't be able to get up in the morning.
It's all right for him. He's Irish anyway. You're not paying for them, are you?
I pay me tax here, I think you'll find.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, and I hate it.
I take it all back.
Oh, no, listen, trust me, our politicians are even worse than yours, man.
How dare you?
Let's take it outside, shall we?
I just think that the saddest thing is that in the scale of corruption, our MPs' corruption is pathetic compared to the corruption of other countries. They must be looking at our MPs who are sort of, oh, I'm going to get some special post-it notes for private use, or I'm going to quietly re-grout my bathroom, ha, 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 and I won't pay. And people go, no, what you do is you steal millions, you put top-class hookers in luxury flats, and you have a whale of a time.
So, let me get this right. You're uniformly supporting top-class hookers by your clause in luxury flats. Is that right? There is the sick old man that's dragging us towards nuclear war. He hasn't got long to live and he wants the rest of us to join him. These are sort of, once again, a whole country of individuals. And here they... Yes, there. Yeah, here we are. And there they are fighting the invisible enemy, which they all imagine is right behind them.
He's bonkers, the little fella.
He is.
He's got his own road that nobody else is allowed to drive on.
That's just a drive, isn't it?
We should have killed him a long time ago.
We were too busy looking for nuclear weapons in countries where there weren't any.
Is it
Rather missing the ones that are there. Unfortunately, China's behind him.
No, I don't think so. Aren't they starting to go, ooh, actually, your man...
What, a bit mad?
I think China are a bit worried about it. But
Really?
Yeah, starting to get a bit
Well, you heard it here first. Big international shift.
Well, see, I Twitter a lot with the Politburo in Beijing.
Oh, with President who?
Yeah, me and him were Twitter mates. I tell him what I had for breakfast, he tells me state secrets.
Now, what's his favourite... Do you know what his favourite film is?
Dr. Strangelove. No. Is it Team America?
It is Friday the 13th. But I don't know whether he's got Team America or not.
I bet he has.
But
I bet he sings I'm So Lonely.
Well... in fact, he does tend to kidnap people whose work he admires. Gather he's a big fan of Top Gear, so... fingers crossed. Poetry is very prominent at the moment, suddenly. BBC banging on about poetry a lot.
Yeah, having a poetry season.
Yeah.
For those of you who are not watching Simon Cowell, there have been a range of rather good programmes on about poetry.
The question is, though, would it be better just sort of getting all the people who are watching it into a room instead? Or...
Just because it's got a small audience doesn't mean it's bad.
The Church of England, too.
If there's anything we can learn from watching television and looking at the viewing figures, it's that people like real crap. Mum, I've accidentally what?
Shoved an ice cube up a squirrel.
I'd love to know how that could be done accidentally.
Oh, yeah. I've accidentally had a sex change operation. It's got nothing to do with this, I'm just announcing it to the nation. I used to be a man, did you know? I used to be a man.
You're a lovely-looking woman.
Oh, I know, innit?
Jackie Smith going to spend more time with her film collection.
Bye. I'm going. Yeah. Oh, there she is, Ron Weasley's mum.
Oh, there's a clown and someone in a hat.
Swinging balls.
Swing to Conservative, I think. And there he is with all that's left of the cabinet.
Did you see
By the time this comes out, 3 people resigning in a day may be nothing. Might be all of them. He might have resigned himself.
If he's booted up by his cabinet ministers, that would be bizarre, because he'd been brought in without winning a general election and taken away without losing a general election. That must be some sort of record.
It'd be a triumph for British democracy. We've had no say at all at any point.
I bet he sees the funny side of that, mate.
But it is pretty bad form if he's going to sack you to then resign.
Why?
Well, it makes him look a fool.
It's almost like it's vindictive, isn't it?
Like finding out someone's going to finish with you and getting in there first. Like in school.
Exactly. You're no, you're dumped.
Yeah. Who left Gordon first?
Jackie Smith.
Yes, she did.
Jackie Smith did it. I saw her. She was behind the bike, she gave every quick cigarette. I was going to say anything, but then she told me, and I said I did in the end.
Maybe she was suffering from short woman syndrome. Because you get short man syndrome, don't you?
Well, I don't.
No.
I'm looking at the wrong side.
Yes.
No, lost on me.
Has it gone over your head?
But I do think, because the BBC is meant to be balanced, and I think we have to say in Gordon's favour, he did make a very good decision on Saturday night. You know, in the middle of the economic crisis and massive resignations, he rang up Piers Morgan to check that Susan Boyle was OK. And I think that's a pretty good use of the Prime Minister's time. I was reassured.
Tory Douglas Carswell claimed £655 for a brushed moss love seat.
And it worked. He said, yes, it's worked. The wife got pregnant. We've got a kid now. It worked, he said. 600 quid's worth.
What do you...
Love seats. It's a love seat.
Brushed moss.
Moss. Love seats.
Oh, I see.
Is that like real moss? Like
No,
a plant?
I misheard. I didn't understand what...
No, brushed moss.
Moss, yes, OK, fine.
You're not thinking of a brushed moth, are you? Somebody brushing them off. You pregnant yet, dear? Oh, I don't know, I'm not sure. You don't have a break. You go, oh, I am. I can feel it kicking. Is that what you're thinking?
No, not brushed moth. Who brushes moths?
But it sounds...
What do you mean, who brushes moths? Lots of people brush moths.
No, but I defy you to prove that.
I'm a brush mother. I don't even know how to say it. That's how committed I am to it.
It's only a nighttime activity anyway, isn't it?
What do you got against brushing moths? Does it remind you of the fact
I haven't got anything but moths I've got a lot against it.
How do you know?
One bristle out of place and they're finished,
you
aren't
start
they?
castigating moths.
Yes.
So they can't have children. What's the matter with you?
I don't want moths to have children. They eat their way through my clothes and my blankets.
Your children eat their way through your clothes?
I don't give my children clothes to eat.
I've had enough of this. I've had enough. I didn't know it was going to be that sort of show. Can I get this mic off?
I definitely want one now.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
I really, really want one.
Do you swing on it?
On the love seats?
Is it one of us when there's the swings? You know, it's a sort of... I don't know what love seats
Oh, I
do.
see, like a swing.
Like a swing, yes. Oh, I see what you mean, yes. No, it wasn't a proposition. But there it is.
Can we just Boris?
Would you mind?
Oh, he's coming down here.
Thank you.
He did give an interview at the end of that.
Yes.
And the reporter, thinking they'd caught Boris out, said, "So, what was the water like?" He said, "It was absolutely lovely and everyone should come in."
We have touched upon this already. Given the meltdown of his cabinet this week, what did Gordon Brown make it a priority to do?
Oh, the Susan Boyle thing, as we've mentioned already.
Yeah, but, you know, it's the first time I've done this.
Yes,
so
yeah, sure,
bear
that's
with me.
OK. That's all right. No, it's fine.
No, we can do it again.
Yeah.
He rang up Piers Morgan.
Did he? Who did?
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister Gordon Brown. Why did he phone up Piers Morgan?
You're not going to believe this,
No.
but apparently he'd been watching the telly and he thought, I'd better ring up, see if that big woman's all right.
Oh. And how is she? Is she all right? Is
You
she...
know, apparently she's not very well.
Oh.
And it's, you know, it's probably the fault of the people who put her on the programme. But at least Gordon cared.
Yes, indeed.
But let's have a look at someone in the Australian cabinet.
Oh, they
and
had a
how
big fight, didn't they?
They what?
They had a big fight.
Oh, let's
this
see.
isn't... Oh, no, this
You're
is
spoiling it for us.
I am. No, it's not that.
Oh, it's not a big fight, no.
No.
Oh, they didn't have... No big fight, no big
No.
fight. Brush them off, brush them off, brush them off. No big fight, brush them off.
Right. I've just been told that James Pennell has resigned.
Good Lord.
Saying he's got no confidence in Gordon Brown. So, first thing we can all agree about.
Which position in the cabinet do you occupy?
James Pennell,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
work and pensions.
So he's resigned from work, he's just having his pension now.
So what's he actually said, Ian?
Well... apparently,
He's standing outside number 10 now. It's all us being funny about it. This could be serious. The whole cabinet's falling to pieces.
I know,
yeah, no, and we haven't covered that at all.
No.
But it's someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, this programme is going to be incredibly badly out of date. By the time we come out, Cameron will be Prime Minister.
We're locked into a recording that can never end, because... as soon as we think we've done something... Oh, no.
I was lucky enough to meet him. I met him, and he's very, very tall. And I became very Welsh when I met him. And just sort of went, oh, by the way, congratulations, it's fantastic and brilliant.
I think it's Sarkozy's grasp of history. And he was the one who said it's a Franco-American event. He'd invited Obama in the hope of just keeping him all to himself. This is what world leaders want to do. Rather like you, they just want to say, oh, you're so fantastic. That's my Sarkozy impression. And then the British ruined it by pointing out that actually over half the troops who landed in Normandy were British or Canadian.
And they want the Queen to be there.
And they want the Queen to be there, which is pretty churlish of us. Really, why we couldn't have a big French do. Everyone dress up as de Gaulle.
Oh, I miss those parties.
Yeah. It's Holly. Because she could have left, could have stormed out, but luckily Uncle Simon said no. That would be child abuse. We must let her sing the song again. Otherwise, the public might think, God, you shouldn't have 10-year-olds on this sort of thing.
I've just found out off the producer, we don't have time to do it again, I'm afraid, OK? I know that's going to upset you. I know that's going to upset you. But listen, please don't worry, because...
I don't care how we find it, but we will find the time somewhere, OK?
See? She stopped straight away. There were no tears.
Yes, she's still 10.
Yes, but would you make your children go on a talent show? That's
No.
the thing, you see?
Show you up. Ant and Dec don't look too happy either, really.
No, they weren't.
They can't be much older.
The Bee Gees, they famously walked out of Clive Anderson's all-talk chat show.
Famously.
After Clive made a quip about one of the band's former names.
Les Tosseurs.
To which Clive quipped, "You'll always be tossers to me."
Did you not want them as guests on your show? clearly.
It was just a bit of jolly banter, you know. It was, they didn't walk out at that point. They stayed on a couple of minutes after that. Yeah. It went downhill after that.
Wasn't it a bit awkward because their microphones got stuck?
It's always very difficult. People always should bear in mind, storming out of a TV studio is quite hard, but you must just forget about microphones and just go. Because everyone sort of goes. Everyone does this. Even more important. They go, I'm leaving. Oh, excuse me. Can I just stick my head? It just doesn't give you a strong look.
The Bee Gees are not the only people Clive is upset.
Oh, hang on.
Can anyone name any more?
The Muslim world.
No, that's not right. That's just a joke.
Who else is upset?
Well, Richard Branson.
Oh, yes. Well, that's a given.
How did you upset him? Or don't we want to go there?
Did you say you'll always be a tosser to me? It was a catchphrase for a couple of series.
I didn't upset. He just decided to pour a glass of water over my head at the end of the interview.
Oh.
This was rather bizarre. So I didn't mind. I'd flown Virgin Atlantic. I was used to that. I don't know why I did that.
You also apparently upset Cher.
Oh, yes.
Did you?
Yes. I said... it was a complicated thing, but anyway,
Okay.
she started teasing me, so I said, you look like $1 million. Is that how much it cost? But I don't... just one of those...
What about Lord Archer? He was another one.
Oh, yes. Oh, come on. What, is this a charge sheet, or are you... or are you giving a medal?
And finally, Barry Manilow. In fact, Barry Manilow...
Yes.
Do you want me to move on?
He was all right for a few minutes. We got on famously, and then something went wrong.
What, you did the tosser line again?
Do you know, the first programme I did interviewing people and things on television, I interviewed a penguin. We had a penguin in from the zoo, and...
Did you get a word in edgeways?
Yes, he chatted away, it was brilliant. And I have to say this in the presence of the real creative genius behind it, because the voice was provided by Paul. But afterwards, everyone said, oh, it's fantastic that you interviewed a penguin, it's very interesting the way you were so funny, the way he looked up and something. Nobody ever said, well, where did the voice come from? They'd never seen it put two and two together. There must have been some brilliant improviser behind the scenes actually providing the voice. And I'd like to thank you for the first time in 20 years. Well done, Paul. That was... You look as though you don't remember.
Different sides of that story. Yeah. I was sitting at home thinking, that penguin sounds like me. I didn't work for 4 years.
Oh, there's Rasputin. Just over here, sir.
I'm off down the pub.
That's his press conference. It's goodbye. No, it wasn't. He's still here, sadly. We got very excited last week. We thought it was all over for him. But we'd forgotten that we don't have a vote. But it's true. We have a system in this country, one man, one vote. Gordon, he votes himself in, he's back.
This is Gordon Brown making a speech in front of the President of the United States, paying tribute to the soldiers who landed on Omaha Beach.
When Winston Churchill regularly asked to see strategists who were planning D-Day, he never knew until they arrived at 10 Downing Street whether the officer would be British, Canadian or American. And so next to Obama Beach, we join President Obama in paying particular tribute to the spectacular bravery of American soldiers.
What did Caroline Flynn do this week?
I can't believe why they're not taking women so seriously in politics. Oh, why? I nearly came dressed as her tonight, but I just managed halfway. They wouldn't let me. They said it was indecent, apparently.
It's just too short, really, isn't it?
Yes, you don't know what I've got on under the table.
I don't think a man in elbow patches is particularly interested. Let's have a look.
Look, I'm just gone for a very trendy look at the moment, which is the geography teacher look. Anyway, stop treating me like a sex object if I was Julie Flint. I'm sick of not being treated for what I'm saying.
Oh, you're only window dressing here, aren't you?
Just so you know, it's actually Caroline Flint. Julie Flint is a porn star.
Is she?
That happens to be my mother!
OK, so Gordon Brown has survived this week. And who's the man behind his survival?
Peter Mandelson.
Correct. Yes.
Do you think he wants to be Prime Minister?
No.
No, he just
Get
wants to
thrown out,
make
then.
Prime Ministers.
He's a kingmaker.
Yeah.
Someone said he was like Cardinal Wolsey.
Is he going to make the next Prime Minister?
Yeah.
Is he going to make David Cameron?
There's a slight problem there with party allegiance, but, I mean, don't underestimate Mandy.
That's what I thought.
Who's been parachuted in?
Alan Sugar. Big Al.
He has...
I don't believe it. What are you telling me? I can't believe it. Take two. I can't believe it. He's doing my head in. What's going on? So he's walking into number 10 Downing Street doing the old Alan Sugar bit.
But that means he might have to give up The Apprentice, is
Yeah,
that right? 'Cause
that's all right.
He can't work for the BBC and the government.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Well, I mean, there is technically a conflict of interest there.
Yeah.
That's why neither of you work for the government.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, I do my bit.
I think so. I think that's fair.
He was a big noise in agriculture and fisheries. Big noise. A big noise.
Of where would he be, Lord? Because you get to choose, don't you? Where would Alan Sugar choose?
North London.
Of Tottenham.
Leave it out, lad. Doing my head. What are you thinking about? Oh, don't get you. I've never actually seen the show. I've got no idea. I've got no idea how he talks. Absolutely none.
So they're all, the whole cabinet is full of people you've had no say over. Mandelson, Brown, Sugar.
That's a Rolling Stones song, isn't it? I think it was.
On the subject of new appointments, who's the dynamic, inspirational, exciting new Defence Minister? I'll give you 100 quid if you can name him.
Bob Ainsworth.
Shit. The actual proper answer is, in fact, Robert Ainsworth, so I can't give you that, Ian. Look at them getting into it like it's The Price is Right. Oh.
He needs the money, look.
I'll give you a chance to double your money. It's double or nothing.
No, I won't take it, thanks.
Well, I'm afraid.
He doesn't want to take it. Have you had a nice day? You're happy with what you got?
Do you want to have a look what you would have won?
You live in Birmingham and it's a motorboat.
What's he also known as, Bob Ainsworth?
Robert. You've already said that. 200 quid. 200 quid.
This is costing me a pack, really.
All right. Now, do you want to go for the sports card, a chance to win your own weight in paperbacks? Your own weight in paperbacks. What do you want? Your own weight in paperbacks?
Yes, please.
OK. OK, do you want the first part first, the second part second, the third part third?
Third.
Third part third, OK. Who scored the goal?
Was it Rooney?
Yes, correct.
Is it rare to have the same thing for breakfast every morning? Does that make you...
When you say, is it that rare, I suspect that you too may have what sane people might call a rather unusual breakfast arrangement. What is it you have every morning? Half a yak or something? Dipped in milk? What is it? What do you have every day?
Well, it's more like Frosties.
Is it?
With a half pint of testosterone.
Exactly.
And of course, David Cameron, he doesn't like the BNP either, does he?
No.
He actually said that the BNP are beyond the pale. I think white supremacists would be quite happy with that, wouldn't they?
Now, the pale doesn't mean pale as in pallid. It's pale is a fence put outside a city. That's where the metaphor comes from. Someone is put beyond the pale. It's beyond a post. You deprive them of civilisation. Yeah.
You know what? I reckon, Ian, you'd be a nightmare at a Chuckle Brothers concert.
He's a support act. What are you talking about?
Where did the BNP do best?
Burnley.
Close. Begins with B.
Blackburn.
Not Blackburn.
Barbados?
Is it Berlin?
Wasn't Berlin. Rhymes with Barnsley.
Barnsley?
Barnsley, yeah. So, yes, UKIP did very well, and they've reckoned if the result was repeated in a general election, UKIP could hold the balance of power, which, as Robert Kilroy-Silk, one of their former MEPs, says, could leave them with a dilemma.
Their fate will be in each other's hands as they decide whether to share or to shaft.
We went for a few series ago, we went through every single programme to find an excuse just to put that on. And finally it's come back again. That's great. Lovely.
Iran's dealing with election fever at the moment.
Yes.
Bad
You've got
enough.
proper elections, haven't you? People turn out and vote there.
Yeah, who are we going to vote for? The Holocaust denier or the other one? And no one even knows his name. They're all out on the street going, the other one, the other one.
Her dad got thrown out. He's very, very brave. Just thought I'd mention that.
Why did he get thrown out?
He was just
my
really,
dad's been thrown out of places. He's not brave.
He's a satirist. And he wrote a poem the Ayatollah didn't like.
You can be a satirist in Iran, but just not for very long. And also, when we were in England, there was a thing against him. They issued a sort of death thing. Because a fatwa for an exiled writer is the closest thing we have to a literary prize.
So you want the other bloke to win?
The other bloke, yeah, the one that...
Good.
That sounds wrong, doesn't it? The one that believes in the Holocaust. I don't mean...
Yeah, it's the news that Dictionary Corner Susie Dent receives answers through a hidden earpiece.
Earpiece?
I'm struggling with that. Paul, could you say earpiece for me?
Oh, yeah,
When I get to it.
Yeah.
It's the news that Dictionary Corner Susie Dent receives answers through a hidden...
Earpiece. Well, I've just said it. I can't say it again. This is a bit awkward. I also run in a minicab, obviously. Look, he's outside now, love. He's outside. He can see the front door.
Yes, I don't know what all the fuss is about. Most of the countdown audiences have earpieces. I can't say it again. We'll do the gag again, Paul. Don't know what all the fuss is about. Most of the countdown steward... Oh, can't even say that.
Shall I say the whole thing and you say earpiece?
Say it, yeah. It's the bottom line. If you could read out the bottom line for us, that'd be fantastic.
You're laughing at the old people for being deaf and you can't even talk.
Most of the countdown audience have...
Just the bottom
This has
line.
got all the answers for the rest of the show on this.
Bob collects up to 30 tons of food waste from the strip every single day. It feeds 6,000 pigs.
Is there a thing here of statues being rejected by the people who commission them?
I don't know. I've dropped all my notes. Carry on.
Colonel Sanders is... What? Do you think it's different answer to that?
Yes.
We haven't really had a proper stab at it yet. Colonel Sanders was apparently not a very nice man, so if someone...
Chickens have got very little good to say about him.
Yeah.
Jesus is the odd one out, because that one was actually refused. They sort of looked at it, oh, this is the Jesus, so they took it off. And... And so all the others have had statues that are going up, but that's the ones that
So
one
you're
come
saying
down.
Jesus is the odd
Yeah.
man out? OK.
Here's Little Morden College.
How the apes taught us what?
How to laugh. It was one of the early...
Yes.
Chimp and... What's that other...
Ease?
Monkey.
Monkey, one of those special...
Cheetah.
Cheetah.
The one in Tarzan.
Oh, it was called Cheetah, yes.
Yeah.
He was the original ape.
Still alive, of course. Paul, will you back me up on that?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Yes.
What, the one from the 30s?
He is still alive.
Yeah, he's absolutely alive. He absolutely is. He's still alive.
See, Paul's backing me up. He wouldn't be doing this to ridicule me. He's backing me up. He's definitely still alive.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
Definitely still alive.
Yeah. Because if he was dead, I couldn't cope with that. He's
No.
definitely alive.
He's definitely alive, yeah.
Because I'd cry my eyes out if he was gone.